We have Jane Robolowski.
Hello, Council. I'm not even going to comment on the previous comments, but I would like to comment on the reasons I've been given via email from the Council's legislative aid, saying that you're not having public meetings in person because the Kitsap Public Health has advised you not to. Well, I called Kitsap Public Health and talked to the board administrator, and after he was done laughing, he said that absolutely not do they do that. In fact, they required Kitsap Public Health staff to start meeting with the public in September. And as you can see, these virtual meetings are not working when even the city clerk can't stay signed on. A lot of the conversations are limited and broken up, and we need to get back to at least a hybrid type meeting and have more staff available in regular office hours when the public needs to go in and get permits and other things. It's not, even the president said the pandemic is over. For God's sakes, let's get back to regular in-person meetings. If somebody has a health issue, then of course they can chime in via Zoom or whichever way that other places have already figured out. It shouldn't be that difficult for Bremerton. That's issue number one. Number two, over a year ago, me and some of my friends in the community came up with some very low-cost solutions for some public restrooms to be used primarily by unhoused neighbors. And you guys just keep kicking the can down the road, coming up with different excuses, or we're going to give this to another private nonprofit to solve. Meanwhile, we still don't have public restrooms. So I urge you, just look into your humanity and get some public toilets out there and public garbage cans that people can use on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaya Long.
I would like to ask that in the future, maybe the funding for Kitsap Transit can make it for a longer bus schedule past 8 p.m. I found it that some of the transit services like the 307 in Kingston is no longer available from Kingston to Bremerton. And yes, I commend some of the past speakers like Jane Leba. I don't want to butcher her name, but Jane, for speaking up about some of the things she spoke of. And I'd like to thank Councilwoman Anna Mockler, who represents Kitsap Transit. Thank you for what you do, and the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Next up is Kathy T. Bradley.
Hello. I just wanted to first thank you all for hosting these meetings. I very much appreciated the brief summary at the beginning. I personally didn't know that oils and fats were a bad thing to do. So I definitely appreciate that information and look forward to getting that flyer in the mail. And during this session, or during this public recognition part, one thing I just wanted to bring up that's important to me as a resident of Bremerton, that has honestly been on my mind everywhere that I have lived, is public transit and just the ability to be mobile in my city without the need for a car or without the need for car dependency. I would love to see, like the previous speaker mentioned, buses that run late. I would love to see buses that run on a regular schedule. I would personally love to be able to go downtown downtown Bremerton and shop and just like hang out in the parks and go to the farmers market without feeling like I need a car to do that on a regular basis. And I also have like family in Poulsbo that I would love to be able to visit without needing a car to drive only a 30-minute drive. And yeah, so that's really just all I wanted to say is that like me as a citizen of Bremerton, like public transportation and less car centric infrastructure and more bike safety is really something that's on my mind. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bradley.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. How are you doing this evening? Couple things. The main thing that I want to touch on tonight, and I have not had a time to gather my thoughts, but myself and several others were very dismayed at the recent REACT meeting that took place. It was very offensive to watch what happened in that meeting. It appears that the fervor and the dedication of racial justice and equity since the murder of George Floyd has seemed to wane, and people don't have the same zeal to do the work as they once protested that they did. Mayor, I don't know when this person is coming on that you're bringing on, but this person needs to take direction from REACT and look at things through a racial equity lens. And I'm asking you to not allow them to move the goalpost and move it from racial equity to everything else that is often what is done in this country from the civil rights era on down, where they use stats. Even city council provided stats where Black people are harmed, looked at different demographics. Right now, currently, Black women are experiencing homelessness in the highest rates. And then all of a sudden, the resources and the conversation switches to every other demographic. So looking at things, especially our budget through a racial equity lens, is paramount, is critical, especially in this county and in this city. So I ask that you folks find and tap back into how you were feeling and how you wanted to move after the murder of George Floyd. The other thing that I would add is, as I run a transportation company as the executive director of G2, a couple things are very important. We have several folks that are trying to pay their rent in a city that has no affordable housing. As such, bus service that ends at 8:30 at night, but they're working at restaurants and other locations, trying to make ends meet, have no way to get home, or they have to pay pretty high rates in order to do so. Same thing with no bus service on Sunday. So I ask you to look into those things and see what you can do about that. Joe Walter from G2 Housing talked about our event in October, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Cameron.